Yes, you should be doing some type of strength training during the racing season. Don't picture giant dumbbells at the gym. You basically want to maintain the strength you've built in the off season from lifting heavier weights, and also to avoid injury as you enter the race season and increase your swimming, biking, and running. And for those of you who are saying, well, I don't do strength training in the off season or any season at all. So first of all, if that's true, shame on you. You are a muscle imbalance injury waiting to happen, and you're definitely not racing to your true potential if you're not strength training at all. And truthfully, if you're not strength training at all, then actually strength training during the racing season probably isn't the best for you, and we need to have a side chat in another video on how to get strength training in the off season. For now, let's talk about the strength training in the racing season. Here we go. Hey, it's Eric from ewjtri, and that little lecture rant's over, and that was really more focused on talking to myself, but also to you. And really one of the reasons why I made this channel is because I was that guy who didn't strength train at all, was in physical therapy a lot, had more and more overuse injuries that were just nagging, stopped getting better, and so ended up having surgery, yada, yada, yada. Don't be the me from 2012. Took me like 7 years to figure out what I'm going to tell you just in a few minutes, as far as make sure you're not only strength training, but strength training during the triathlon racing season. So 5 things to think about. Number 1 is you probably want to limit the strength training to 2 hours a week and 2 to 3 sessions, depending how long they are, maximum. There's even some research showing that doing 1 strength training session every 7 to 10 days, doesn't have to be per week, can be actually beneficial. Tip 2, you want to limit it to 1 to 2 sets, probably 8 to 12 repetitions, and it should be, a lot of body weight or very lightweight. You shouldn't really be sore. You definitely don't want to be sore while you're doing it, and you really shouldn't be sore after the fact. It shouldn't really affect your hard bike workout, for example, the next morning. Tip 3 is focus on lateral muscle strength. So for the most part, swimming and then biking and running especially are in that same plane of motion where your body's just kind of doing this over and over and over again. And so you really want to engage, activate, and strengthen those lateral supporting muscles, so that as you increase the overall miles you're biking and running and swimming, as those lateral muscles are there to support them, rather than the stronger muscles for running and biking being really overworked and then fatigued and creating imbalances. We don't want that, so strengthen those lateral muscles. A few quick examples on what exercises to do. I'll put a link in the upper right if you want to watch more in terms of an explanation on that, but it's typically things like side lunges, doing bridges with a band, doing monster walks with a band to engage those lateral muscles. Tip 4 is try to do more single leg exercises. So for example, a single leg squat with just your body weight. We're focusing on form, engaging all those muscles of the leg. We don't want one leg compensating for the other, and really getting those individual muscles firing of each leg. This will also help reduce injury. Another example is doing a lunge or even a single leg RDL with no weight or very lightweight. The final tip 5 is to engage your core along with as many other exercises as possible when you're strength training during the off season. So when I say core, I mean abs, low back, all the glute muscles, the hips, and engaging all those together. Now is not the time to isolate, for example, just doing a tricep extension, just focusing on that. An example might be to do a push-up on a BOSU ball or an exercise ball, so you're engaging a lot more muscles than just the triceps, and it almost becomes more of a whole body or multi-muscle exercise. So after you do some single leg squats, you could actually do a 2-legged squat but stand on the BOSU ball, so it's engaging balance and more of those core muscles, working on stability and overall strength, yet you're not lifting any heavy weights to fatigue you for your swim, bike, and run workouts. Doing planks and side planks are 2 other quick examples of how to engage that core system to build some of that strength. And actually, if you're familiar with TRX, that is a suspension trainer type training where you can almost go through a whole body workout where you are working on the chest, the shoulders, the legs, the hips, but you're also engaging the core at the same time. And so that I feel is a great during season way to strength train. Okay, so to sum up the 5 tips for strength training during the racing season is do it once every 10 days to perhaps 2 to 3 times per week, but keeping it to 2 hours total max if you decide to break it up into a couple of shorter workouts. You want to keep the reps short, 1 to 2, 8 to 12 reps max. You want to keep it where you're focusing on the lateral supporting muscles and also doing single leg and type activities to really focus on form. And then when you do engage more of the whole body, having that core involved. So whether that be with a suspension trainer like TRX or using a BOSU ball or even just doing multi-functional movements. So a bonus tip, which really is probably one of the most important things, but most of us kind of don't think about, is really it leads to longevity of the sport. You're going to have so many more years of racing and enjoying swimming and biking and running if you actually support those activities with strength training. You don't have to build lots of muscle, but you do have to get those muscles engaged, especially those supporting and core muscles. You'll race faster, you'll be injury free, and you'll get to race for years and years to come when other people are sidelined and unfortunately, injured or retired or just have too many aches and pains. So you'll hopefully still be racing. So hope that was helpful for you. There'll be a new video next week, so hit that red subscribe button right now so you don't miss any other videos. You don't want to make these same mistakes that I've made along the way. And until then, I will see you on the trails.